scare you. And I've not got very long to alert you, alarm you, and activate you to a cause that I believe only Rotary can serve. I believe we are the ideal agencies to promote public awareness of a major threat to world health, namely AMR, which is a dreadful sounding thing, antimicrobial resistance, in plain English, incurable infections caused by microbes, germs which refuse to surrender to our killing medicines, antibiotics. Now, I firmly believe, and I hope you're with me on this, that only Rotary has an unequalled track history of playing a key public involvement role in the eradication of polio, rolling back malaria, and fighting waterborne diseases on multiple fronts. Now, wait for this plug. I think we have done this as committed, responsible, trustworthy, and credible volunteers. So here's another opportunity. Now, no one's asked me why I'm dressed like this. I'm waiting for the call.
Why are you dressed like that?
Like that, Barry.
I'm dressed like this in my workplace next week, but I also believe that within a few years, because of the presence of these resistant bacteria, and it's already happening in the UK, there are resistant bacteria in old age care facilities, so common that referral hospitals refuse to take patients from those aged care facilities, and if they wish to be seen, they will have to get dressed like this. Now, that might be fun for your grandchildren, but I really believe that's on the cards, and we may be creating, and Tim agrees, which is good, a new world order of lepers who people don't want to touch because they may have these infections. Here's this opportunity for Rotary to get on the board. I'll take this off because it's too hot. It's always hot. No, that's much, much better. Now, remember, the majority of bacteria are essential to our health. No, I'm not taking off just yet. But too often they cause disease with death, disability, and increased life expectancy as the price we pay for their activity. The AMR review is commissioned in the UK by the Public Health of the UK and the government, and the scary bit is that they predict that if resistance continues at its current rate, it will pose a greater threat to global well-being than terrorism, and at a much greater dollar cost. Now, a crude way of measuring the ghastly outcomes of conflicts, like war and infection, and they always go along together, is death, a very crude measure, because along with deaths are the miseries of human suffering and the loss of individual health and productivity, immeasurable. I remember when we were travelling in France the first time, went round the corner in the Somme and saw this scene. So, of you, how can you conceive of 1 million deaths, or 10, or 100 million? This gloomy prediction, if it happens, and we're going to stop it, you guys, and me, and a few other people, the death tolls of this magnitude, when you look at it on a yearly basis, await us if AMR is not stopped. Now, just to put in the personal bit, my mother was born in a bough shed with an earth floor in Wickapin in 1909. She died at the age of 90, but she could recall in later life the festivity in Westonia. What a graduation to go from Wickapin to Westonia in her early years. On Armistice Day, and then the amazing catastrophe of the flu pandemic. Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Fatalities in World War I, far greater than 60 million. The flu accounted for more, perhaps 100 million. People dropped like flies. This was viral. Antibiotics wouldn't have made any difference. The original infection, perhaps the secondary infection. A lovely slide. World War II, and I was born during that. Proud to say that. Fatalities, at least another 60 million deaths. So that issued in the age of antibiotics a little bit, 42, 43 to be used, and they made a difference in that conflict. Now, since that time, we have all enjoyed the value, the benefits of antibiotics. Can you contemplate a world now in which we are losing the ability of treating infections? And Tim's unit up there, a bit further up there, are seeing these patients already. Bugs, germs don't need passports, they can cross anywhere, and they're doing that. Remember that there is an increasing rate of tuberculosis resistance to multiple drugs, and our areas of expertise and work in malaria, there is beginning and increasing resistance of malarial parasites to our frontline drugs. The UK AMR review, doing a very extensive analysis of this problem, paints the gloom this thing, that if things keep happening at the current rates, then that picture, which I don't want to go reading to you, but you've all got a copy of that in your satchel, and we've got them upstairs, they're talking about 11 million deaths a year, otherwise preventable. Those figures start to look like the World War I, World War II, and not the flu. The bugs show they're much more capable of killing people than people are at killing people. There's nothing new about. All conflicts have been accompanied by infections, often accounting for more deaths than the actual trauma inflicted by swords, bullets, etc. 11 million that adds up to, I'm sure you've all done a rapid, at a cost of $8 trillion a year. Now, I know that's coming close to the deficit for the WA government, but sure. Now, that's deaths again, crude measure, not sickness, disability, chronic ill health, etc., that comes with this medical Armageddon. Everybody in here, and there's numerous of you who have artificial joints, are the beneficiaries of antibiotics which are given to prevent infection. I must get this off now, because it's like Superman, all will be revealed. And even better bit, now, this. Thank you.
Thank you.
How did all this come about? How did it come about? What can we do about it? Lovely, lovely picture, courtesy of Google. There has been and continues to be in many places a complacent, cavalier and costly squandering of this marvellous group of drugs. Responsibility for AMR can be sheeted home to a massive inappropriate use for decades, and we are now paying the price and may pay a much heftier price. There are 3 messages to get, 3 messages, very, very simple messages that I want you to go away with. The risk of infection can be reduced by public health measures, vaccination, hand washing, personal hygiene, etc. Pop this one because it's vital. Antibiotics should not be used for the flu or viral infection. Doctors should not prescribe and consumers should not request something that will not work. You should know that over 40% of antibiotics prescribed are inappropriate. Where an antibiotic is indicated, it must be chosen with care on a scientific basis. This is a great one. All bacteria, can you read that? The diet for these animals includes antibiotics by the bucket full. Just turn that on. All bacteria exposed to antibiotics seek to develop resistance. Massive use in human, animal and plant health has often been inappropriate. At least 70% of all antibiotics produced are used in the meat-producing industries, and despite government and regulatory restrictions, this use is increasing. Antibiotics are throughout our food chain and are unavoidable. This widespread abuse favours further development of resistance. As consumers, we need to be aware of these facts and should seek to be actively involved in decisions about exposing ourselves and especially our children to antibiotics. Now, government agencies are working hard at a professional level, but have done a very poor job at public awareness and education. Not much left. And we believe, the Gang of Four at Rotto, plus the Governor, we believe this is a job for Rotary. We're developing presentations to take to other clubs, feel free to call me up, and thence to the general community. A massive task. Early days, I believe that Rotary action is needed because no one else is interested. Those 3 messages, there's one of them, and this is a lovely thing. 3 messages, that's all. Reduce the possibility of infection, do not use antibiotics for viral infections, and choose the right antibiotic. We need awareness, advocacy and education. Rotary can do it. If you want to get on board, we're recruiting. And the last thing is, remember, think big, start small, and start now. Thank you.